Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new to my channel, my name is Mattia. I'm a professional time-lapse and hyperlapse photographer living in Madrid. And let's kick off 2022 with something that I've never done before, a Q&A. Let's go! Hey guys, Happy New Year! How was your holidays? I can't believe that it's already past another year. The older I get, the faster it goes, eh? So last week I asked you on my Instagram, Twitter and in the community page here on YouTube if you had some question about time-lapse and also personal life, so we can know each other a bit better. So let's start with the first one, which is do you live with your photography work? So yes, I do live with time-lapse photography. It has been my full-time job since 2012. And it definitely has its up and downs, as most of freelance work. And to be honest, I struggled a bit in the last couple of years with the client jobs due to the pandemic. But thankfully, I have a different stream of income with my time-lapse photography, so I could maintain a decent income. So another one, when did you start photography and when did you tell you I want to live from my photography? Well, I started photography back in 2008 when I bought my first DSLR camera, which was a Canon 450D, and photographing racing car while I was on a break at my old job in Italy, which was selling racing fuel to racing team. And it was in those breaks while making picture of cars, I realized that I would do everything I can to make it as a job. What are your principal work? Photo, time-lapse, video, other? Well, my work is mainly time-lapse and hyperlapse only. I do sell some prints and stock photo now and then, but nothing special. Next, where is your favorite place versus your favorite place to time-lapse? My favorite place, well, I don't think I have a specific one for time-lapse, but I love time-lapse the cities. And London in particular, because it changes so much from day to night and there is always movement. But I also love shooting landscape and be by myself in those landscapes. So I guess one of my favorite places I've been will be Kyrgyzstan, so such an epic country. And my favorite place, not time-lapse related, well, it's definitely Angels Falls in Venezuela. Every time I watch my video of our trip, I get goosebumps. What a place. Then, what was your first time-lapse related job? Oh yeah, my first time-lapse job was in 2012. It was for a cool documentary about the BMX team in Peckham, London, that made it to the London Olympics. And I had to shoot some hyperlapse at the track in London and also shoot time-lapse around Manchester. I remember I was so happy that I was able to travel for work, and in that period I was still working at the pub, so I had to take holidays to work on this job. Next. Oh, this is in Spanish. So, primero, felicidad por tu trabajo. ¿Qué cámara usas para los time-lapse? Thank you so much. I use a Sony a7R III to shoot in 8K and the Sony a7 III to shoot for clients that don't need 8K and also to shoot videos here on YouTube. So next one, darás la receta del tiramisù. I put the recipe down in the description, but don't tell anyone. So next, any advice or tips for those trying to monetize their time-lapse photography? Nice question. Well, if I was starting today, trying to make money with the time-lapse, I would first send my showreel to any film productions in my area or country by looking for them on Google and let them know that I exist. Then I will make a few themed time-lapse video about the city where I live or near me, so it would not require to travel. Or if you prefer landscape, shoot a national park close to you or an area that is more touristic. And once you have those films, send it to the tourist board entity of that particular place and ask if they want to license it. And after that, take all the time-lapse you shot and put it on a stock site and share them on every social media that you have. And another one, what led you to becoming a time-lapse photographer and what made you to take this as a career? Well, I felt in love with this technique back in 2011 And for me, it was different from photography. I was happy when I was planning to shoot, I was happy while shooting it, and the process to learn by making mistake and succeed on particular time lapse, it was so rewarding. And after sharing my work, it felt so good to see others inspired to visit the place I shot or make them see it in a different way. So yeah, I think that is what made me want to pursue time-lapse photography in the first place. Well, next one, best starter kit for time-lapse. Well, any camera with a kit lens, any tripod, any intervalometer, and a fairly good ND filter. And that's it. You don't need much to start. When you feel comfortable and see the limitation of your gear, then you get a better camera, lens, etc. Next one, when and where is our next trip together? I don't know. I really want to do another trip together. And on my list are Patagonia, Norway, Namibia, and back to Iceland, but this time with a 4x4 in the middle of the highlands. And for you guys that don't know, Michael is a friend of mine from Cyprus. Him, Charles, and I went on a 10 days one trip in Iceland in 2018, and it was epic. And the last one, algún programma gratuito per editare timelapse? Yes, LR Timelapse has a free version, but you will need the Lightroom to edit the photos. I think there is a new version is about to come out that allow you to skip Lightroom, and you can change everything in the software. I'll leave a link in the description for the beta version if you want to check it out. And also DaVinci Resolve has a free version. You can convert the RAW to DNG and edit them inside the software. And I think Drew Geraci made a tutorial about that. I'll link below his video as well if I find it. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for all the questions. It was really fun. I do a monthly Q&A for the members of the channel, so if you want to ask me questions every month, click the join button beside the subscribe button. And thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao ciao.